Hello, it's Godchild. Welcome back to another video on Minecraft. So I'm gonna be doing parkour as we speak, but basically, oh, and by the way, again, another reminder to stay encouraged, positive, and determined. This is that's my YouTube channel's motto, and I hope y'all just so y'all know, and let's get into it. So basically, I'm gonna do something a tiny bit different. So I'm gonna sure I'm doing like I'm playing servers. Yes, it is true. But you'll see it in the title, basic and the thumbnail too. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm gonna be giving my honest thoughts and opinion on no, please saying trouble. My honest thoughts on the Copper Age update that's supposed to come eventually. And as a brief disclaimer, I don't know when that update's gonna come out to begin with, so we'll see. Um, but basically, here's my. I'm gonna separate this in like three brief categories. Um, I'm gonna start with the more interesting category in my opinion, and here we go. So my thoughts so far on the cover update, I think it's gonna be I'm gonna just cover the basics. Oh, we'll go a little by little up, so on. So my thoughts right now on the update is I think it's decent. Definitely better Minecraft updates than previous, like in the recent, like in the past. But the update wise, I think it's much needed honestly, because like copper has absolutely no use with the exception of what's it called? With the exception of like using the making copper blocks or the spyglass technique as well. But like besides that, it doesn't even you can't even use it for like a beacon at the least. So with that being said, and here's why I'm saying that. I think the copper update's gonna be really important, especially because like they're gonna be adding copper weapon tools and armor, which we already know were like so overdue because copper originally got added as an ore in like what was it, caves and cliffs or something, like so long ago. To be honest with you, to be honest, to be honest with you, and I'm saying that because, well, yes, of course, caves and cliffs came out a long ages ago, and therefore, this genuinely should have been a thing already during when they added copper originally. Like this is so overdue. That's what I'm trying to say. But I'm gonna separate this into three different categories. Breaking down the update briefly, not much, but like a brief breakdown. Not anything crazy, but something. And give my honest thoughts on it too. So I'll be playing some servers as we speak. Um, so first of all, again, a disclaimer: know that I do not know the release date of when this update's ever gonna come out. Please know that, but it is expected sometime in late 2025. That's what however, there is actually some previews of snapshots you could check out that would show this. However, here's what I find interesting, and another thing I might as well just mention about the copper update. Basically, we of course we're gonna get the copper tools and armor, weapons tools and armor, which was desperately needed. They're even gonna add a copper chest. A storage block also featured on the copper golem. And guess it. Speaking of golems, they're going to be adding a copper golem, which is slightly from what I've seen. So honestly, take a tiny bit of this with a grain of salt because I don't cover updates much or at all. So, and this is my first time covering updates, so just bear with me. However, I got some legit sources. I just don't know the release date. However, fact of the matter is the copper golem is a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit different from the iron golem. Here's why. So the iron golem, right? The iron golem. We know how like the iron golems for like how do I say it? Eliminating mobs is like well practically you find them easily in villages. They protect the villagers right from other mobs. Well, the copper golem on the other hand is going to be really a great addition as well. But if not, honestly, better. It depends. It's subjective. No, please. Sorry, I'm getting that person's random. There. Alright, anyways, fact of the matter. I mean, not fact of the matter. I've been saying that too much. Point here is about the. Anyways, that's what I was saying about the copper golem, y'all. Sorry. My bad. It's a new mob that will be helping with item sorting and placing items into chests, which I found that to be really great when that eventually comes out. That would be so helpful. That would be extremely helpful. Like, imagine if, I don't know, you just have like so much stuff in your inventory and you're like, in that one scenario that you just don't want to put the stuff away into chests at that moment because you're like doing so much at once. Well, with that being said, the copper golem's gonna be picking up the items that will be on the ground and putting them in the chest for you, which I think is actually awesome. That's gonna be super useful and relieves a lot of pressure. It's gonna be a huge help when that does get added eventually. Another thing I thought about talking about is, are we not gonna can we just come clean and be honest about like, okay, this guy, GG. Anyways, as I was saying about the, like, copper blocks are really good. They're really good looking. Let's just be honest. But just the other thing I was gonna say about this entire update was, if you've seen the copper, like the lanterns, they're gonna add copper lanterns. They're gonna add copper bars, copper chains. Oh, and of course, they're even gonna add much more variety in the copper blocks too. And yes, just like when they first added the copper blocks, because that's not new, they're just gonna like, add more things to it, different types. Yes, they're also, of course, they're gonna have wax variants as well. However, I think all time, and it's just my personal preference, so just know that. If y'all disagree, know that we're all people. We could all have different opinions, okay? But basically, I think in general, for those that don't know, well, y'all wouldn't really know, but I'll explain. Basically, my favorite Minecraft update all time. That's difficult, but I'm gonna go with probably Update Aquatic, honestly. Like, people genuinely forget how necessary that update genuinely was, because only the OGs are gonna remember when oceans were like so, like, just sad. They were just like so bland. And honestly, it was just so sad. They were just so underwhelming with how much squid they had, and no fish, no kelp like now, no sand either, just gravel. Anyways, something else I might as well mention about the copper update is copper golems. Yes, speaking of them putting stuff in the chests, they spawn with a copper chest, and they'll place an item into the copper chest, and the copper golem will sort it into other chests by finding matching items. Um, like most things made of copper, the copper chest and the copper golem oxidize over time, changing their coloring from shiny orange into a vibrant turquoise. When a copper golem is fully oxidized, it retires by turning into a happy decorative copper golem statue, freezing into one of four poses, the perfect addition to any shelf, castle entrance, or sculpture park. You can change a copper's no excuse me, copper's golem statue's pose. Anyways, sorry. Where was I? Um, ignored the fact that I started coughing, but I had to mute myself because, well, reasons. In other words, it's just like I feel like it's kind of kind of perfect. But what I'm saying is, what I'm gonna briefly say and continue reading uh these update details from Mojang themselves is, I'll say that. By the way, don't get offended by this. So at the end of the day, we're all human. Please know that, and therefore, I'm not against any of y'all. Like, I never will be. I'm grateful. Like, I'm chill. Calm and nice. But what I'm saying is, why I mute myself? That's probably because I was coughing and therefore I didn't want to be like embarrassed. If that makes sense. Why do I say that? Because I don't know, maybe because I just felt uncomfortable and didn't want any of you feeling like, I don't know, like annoyed or just, you know, it's how do I say it? It's manners, in other words. By the way, disclaimer: if you don't cover like your like if you don't like mute yourself or something like that in the middle of talking, by the way, please don't take that personal. It's just like how I feel. You don't have to agree. And also I'm not controlling you. Do what you want, okay? But anyways, back to the copper update. Me covering it, and I hope that makes sense. And please do not take it the wrong way. It's not that deep. At the end of the day, none of us are perfect. We're all people, and we can. However, we can always we could at least try our best. Oops. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see. Okay. Hold on. Bear with me. I'm trying to read this, but then there's this critter, if you will. Dude, it's in the middle of. Oh, whoa. Okay, that's a lot. Alrighty, that's genuinely a lot to handle. Stop it, please. No. Where did he come from, bruh? You just jump like that. GG, GG. Well, honestly, that's a blessing in disguise because I'm trying to right now read something. And I was trying to also apologize about why I muted. And feel that way. Where was I? Hold on, let me find it. It's such a long article. Bear with me. Let me find it. I'm having problems finding it. Hold on. Alright, I found it. I think I was at. I was at. I don't remember where, to be honest. Whatever. I know I stopped at one of these. Okay. I don't know exactly where I stopped, but I at least remember like the area of when I stopped. So I think I stopped at where it says the perfect edition, but take that with a grain of salt. You'll know in this video by going back a couple timestamps ago, a few minutes ago. All right, so like most things, no screw it. I'm sure y'all already heard this anyway. But anyways, it retires by turning into a heavy, decorative copper golem statue, freezing into one of four poses. They're perfect addition to any shelf. Castle entrance, excuse me, or sculpture park. You can change a copper golem statue pose simply by interacting with it. But that's not all. When connected to a oh, I didn't notice. When connected to a redstone comparator, each pose sends a distinct signal, allowing redstone engineers to create some clever combination-based contraptions. Super secret vault entrance below. All right, so now I'm gonna read about the. By the way, this is legit sources. This is from Mojang. However, they just have yet to. The release date is unknown. It just says late 2025, and I don't know what that means. So I genuinely don't know. All right, but anyways, the second part of this paragraph was what this update is going to be about. The Copper Age game drop also brings new equipment here, and it's all made out of wax. Oh, the developers of Vita, bruh. Hold on, let me just go and like break this down then. So it says it's made out of copper. This complete set of tools includes a copper pickaxe, copper axe, copper and a copper shovel. But let's not forget you also have a copper sword. Basically, they're adding copper tools, weapons, and of course copper armor, which, as I said in the earlier, practically a tiny bit in between the intro and like obviously after that. I said hold on, I'm getting chased. So besides the point. I genuinely shouldn't have chose healing potions as my thing here. I should have kept it as a sword. It happens. Fact of the matter is about the copper tools, weapons, and armor. Um, it is pretty much gonna be in between. As far as durability is concerned, it's gonna be like for armor alone, it's gonna be around what's it called? It's gonna be practically mixed. It's gonna practically have just barely better durability than gold, and it's gonna be like a mix between gold armor and the leather armor as far as like overall of protection and such and stuff like that. And the tools and weapons are just barely a tiny bit faster than stone, even though apparently, by the way, copper pickaxes when they add them. Disclaimer: none of this is out yet. But when they add them, copper pickaxes are not gonna be like you can't mine what's it called? You can't mine diamonds with them, and I'm pretty sure you also can't mine uh iron either. But hold on, let me just briefly make sure because I don't want to get that wrong. Okay, I take that back. In the next update, yes, you'll be able to mine iron with a copper pickaxe, but apparently you won't be able to mine them with you will not be able to mine diamonds with the copper pickaxe. Which honestly that makes a lot of sense because if they did allow that, copper is already easy to have as it is already before this update. So with that being said, I think they're doing Mojang is just gonna be doing that just so like iron already still has a use. And to still like get it and go for people to still care about getting iron, which even if it's practically just a different color of iron. Whoops, these people. No, dang. Anyways, embarrassing, very. I'm not doing survival games, at least not in this video. All right. Well, besides that, there's also something else in this entire update that they're again blatant or that they are yet to release. Still left with stacks of copper ore to use up. With these new decorative blocks, there's no such thing as too much copper. Light up your base and the deepest mine with the new copper lanterns and copper torches. Yes, they're gonna be adding copper lanterns and copper torches. So, so basically, from what I'm looking at the snapshots, wait, I'm not playing the snapshots. Like I'm not in the Minecraft Better previews currently. I also don't have them installed. Like I could download them. It's just I was rushing to do the thumbnail and I just barely got here. However, the copper lanterns and copper torches have a green light, which I found pretty cool. It's very similar to like how the soul sand torches from the Nether update a while ago in like 2020. Uh, they have the blue light, if that makes sense. Redstone torches are really old, but nevertheless they have a red light, which is for redstone, and so on. All right, so now the last part of the update is they're adding new dyes for hold on. So shelf blocks are also very efficient as they allow for hotbar swapping. So, yep, say you're in midair and you'll be able to swap. Um, and they are revamping the dye as the art icons, I guess, which is actually pretty good because like it could be confusing. Like we all know how like I mean the OGs are gonna know it when lapis used to be the way of what's it called, crafting a blue wool or stuff like that. Now you have to turn the lapis into blue dye. So honestly, they're gonna make it a little bit easier to distinct the dyes and like texture wise, if that makes sense, which is actually really good. So like for example, light blue dye and dark blue like they're gonna make it a lot easier to distinguish, which is great. If that makes sense. Um, and that's all from this article alone. So that if that makes sense, y'all. By the way, the release date is unknown. I'll actually put a link of the article I read. It is from Mojang themselves, and I'll put it in the description of this video. No worries. I'll try to put the timestamps. However, I honestly can't promise it, but I'll try. All right, but anyways, everyone, that is my thoughts on the copper update. By the way, no, there's definitely a lot more of stuff I, you know, just simply couldn't find enough articles on. It was the third game drop. If that makes sense. All right, hold on. Okay, so the third game drop. Bear with me, I'm having problems. Okay. Hold on. So, anyways, I'll put the link of the what's it called? The Copper Age update article I read. It's from Mojang. It's from Minecraft themselves. It's from their Minecraft.net. So that's that. Let me know if y'all want to eventually see more update related videos or just takes of Minecraft in general or other games I play, even sports, because I post NBA 2K Madden here as well. Or even if y'all want me to do something like Asphalt Uno, List Goes On. Uno video is not really an update per se because, well, that's really just a board game in IRL, real life. But I could, and Uno videos I could probably put like, there's actually other board games I play to be honest. But, like, my thoughts on that type of stuff. It could be versatile. Just tell me what y'all would prefer. Anyways, that's literally everything that I found in this article. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoy. Thanks for watching. Wait, no, I can't get the traditional emotes. Rip. Hold on. And flossing, which I'm not gonna floss. But anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day or night, depending on your time zone. It's Scott Child out. Peace. And bye, my peoples. Bye, my wonderful folks. I hope y'all enjoyed this update video. Alright, thank you. Adios. Magenta. Bye, my peoples.